Greetings, I am Herbert Erpaderp, and today I'm going to have a look at what's inside this Takom St Chamond box. Will it be a 1/35th scale Takom St Chamond? Yes it will be. I saw somebody on my Discord server build one of these and I thought, that looks pretty damn good, and wanted one for myself. I was told that this kit is actually out of production at the moment, and I was unable to find it in any of the usual places I get models from. But they did have it in stock at HobbyLink in Japan, so I picked it up. This does mean that it might be kind of hard to find this kit if it does interest you, but I'm sure it's out there if you want it, so it's not totally pointless to do a what's in the box video. Who knows though, maybe it'll go back into production or be re-released or something. Anyway, because this is a what's in the box video, we should probably have a look at what's in the box. This is what's in the box. A number of individually wrapped sprues, nicely moulded in a light grey plastic. This first bit here is, as you might guess, the upper hull. In fact, most of the tank is in this one part. I do like that this is a single part, an inverted tub, I guess you might call it. Having it all in one piece makes it far less likely that you'll have things misaligned, and it eliminates gaps that might form along corners and edges, were it something you had to glue together yourself. It also looks really good. It's very crisp and neatly moulded. I have no idea if the number of rivets is correct, not being a rivet counter of course, but it looks appropriate to me. The details are quite nice. Speaking of details, Sprue A here, of which there are two, have a bunch of the details. It looks to me like these are mostly wheels and parts related to the running gear. Unsurprisingly, all of the parts on this sprue are quite nice and neat, and I couldn't find any defects or problems. Of course, sometimes problems just don't appear until you're trying to glue things together, but I'm not anticipating that to be the case with this kit, and from what I've experienced, Takom stuff is pretty good quality. There are of course mold lines, very minor mold lines, but mold lines nonetheless. It shouldn't take too much to clean up though. These sprues not only have wheels and suspensiony bits, but there's also a couple of guns. Those are probably there to shoot the ground, to show it who's boss, and to make it easier for the suspension to deal with. That's why they're on the sprue with the suspension and wheels. It's all related. You're full of shit, Herbert! Yeah, I know. Not even sorry. Sprues B here contain many track bits. I do like individual track links, so I'm not complaining, but they do obviously take a lot of work. In exchange for that work though, I feel like they provide great results, so I think it's worth it. I have been informed that the tracks and suspension in this kit are quite fiddly, and looking at this I can't disagree, and they are probably going to be quite time consuming and a bit of a challenge, but that's okay. It just means I'm getting a lot of modelling time out of the kit, and that's good value. Sprue C and F here has all manner of hatches and armour platey bits and pieces, as well as a bunch of doodads I can't identify. Well, that's nothing new, is it? There's also a crew figure, or I assume he's a crew figure. It's possible he's just a random bystander, standing by. The figure actually looks pretty decent. I do often leave my figures unbuilt, relegated to the bits box, and I don't know if this guy shares that fate. We may never know. What about when you build the kit, Herbert? I guess we'll know then, won't we? I could repeat what I've said about the other sprues in relation to them being nice and crisp and neat and well detailed and all of that sort of thing, but really, you can see that for yourself. I'd only be stating the obvious. Since when does that stop you? Good point. Anyway, thumbs up for this sprue. And this one too. It's the D sprue. Yeah. I don't really have a lot to say about this one. It just looks like a bunch of hull components and metalwork and various doodads. I mean, I could say again how good these parts look, but again it would be redundant. I will say though that the neatness of these parts, and the lack of flash and such, means they're probably going to go together really nice and easily without too much work. I'm expecting about the only work I'll really need to do is clean up where the parts are cut from the sprue. That's not nothing, but it's not much either. This is Sprue E. It's very spruey. Again, this seems to be mostly bits of hull and metalwork, and there's also what appears to be a barrel. Is this pirate rum? No. I think it's actually a roller you would find under the end of the hull to help the tank get over bits of high ground without grounding itself. But pirate rum would be fun. Anyway, that's all of the plastic parts in this kit. Definitely looks good to me, and I'm pretty excited to get started on it. The kit does include a decal sheet, though it is kind of small and doesn't have much of a selection of markings. That's okay though, I don't suppose you really need that many, and if you do want something different, I'm sure aftermarket decal options are available. You just have to look for them. I quite like the crocodile, or is it an alligator? It's a little green reptile of some bitey variety, and I like it. I think I'll use that one. To help us figure out where those markings should go, we have this sheet of painting and marking guides. This side has the Crocodile Gator one, which seems to be a vehicle captured by the Germans, and the other side shows this one, which is labelled 3 Batterie der Se Group, Colonial Artillery Group, early 1918. I think both schemes are interesting, but I definitely prefer the first one, mostly because of the green reptile. Obviously these are only a guide, and you can paint the model however you like, including hot pink. I probably won't be doing that, but it is a possibility. The instructions are a quite nice booklet with a glossy front cover. I like this. It's something I would be inclined to keep. It's a pretty big booklet though, rather wide, so it probably will get a little bit in the way when it's time to build, but I suppose it could be worse. The diagrams are well laid out and easy to understand and follow, and it looks like each step is broken down into small enough chunks that you shouldn't be overwhelmed by too many parts to add and keep track of at the same time. Clearly I haven't built the model yet, so if there is an issue with the instructions somewhere, I won't know it yet, but if I do encounter something like that, I'll be sure to mention it in the build video. Okay, so that's what's in the box. I'm pretty excited to start working on this. It looks to be a good quality kit, and I think it's going to turn out to be a good representation of an interesting, and in my opinion, a kind of silly looking tank, but for me, the silliness is part of the appeal. I've had a bit of a craving to build some World War I stuff that I haven't done before lately, and I've never built a St. Chamond before, so I'll be starting on this pretty soon. At the time of recording, I'm working on the Meng FT17 on my morning streams, and I think this will be my next long-term build on my morning streams. So if you want to watch me build this live, you'll find a link to my Twitch channel, which is where I do such things, in the description below. Give me a follow, and check the schedule for when I'll be working on this. The build video will follow a short while after the streams. Obviously you can't show something being built before it's been built, so that's going to be a little while off. I am anticipating that this build will take a good chunk of time. Probably most of that time is going to be spent assembling the tracks. Anyway, I've shown you what's in the box, and I probably don't really need to waffle any further. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the comment section below. And if you've not already done so, why not subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, follow, ring the bell, consider becoming a patron if you want to see my videos a bit early, or maybe just come say hi on Discord or Twitch next time I'm live. You can find links to all of my things like social media in the description below. And, as always, I shall return soon. So, until then, be excellent to each other, have a nice day, and thanks for watching. Farewell.